We're going to make a 3D printed nameplate in Blender. And actually, not just Blender, we're going to start in Sketchpad and make our name. Blender's fonts are pretty boring, so Sketchpad has a lot more for us. I'm speeding up this Sketchpad part because you've done it before. We are going to make the width of our surface 4 inches and the height 1.5 inches. So a pretty small area. We'll make it transparent, and there you can see. And you are familiar, we're opening up the text or the type tool, and we're going to find a font, and then we're going to type our name into space. There it is. And you can see something happened. I didn't keep my font I selected. That's all right. I just open up the menu and grab a font and kind of position it, maybe do a little resizing. I don't know if I like that font. I'm going to maybe use the menu, select another one, something with a little more heft. One thing I like about Sketchpad as an online app, it has a good selection of fonts. Position where I want it. Now it is time to export. I'm going to use the export icon, and I'm going to export an SVG from Sketchpad. The only thing Blender takes is an SVG. Now, it downloaded to your personal folder. Now we're going to import it into Blender. Blender is in the Windows menu. It will open up, and it will look something like this if you go to the File menu and go all the way down to Import, and then select Import SVG, because that is the format of your Sketchpad file that you exported. You're going to go get it. You can see I'm using it from my downloads folder. Yours will be in your personal folder. And there it is, but wait. It looks like it's nowhere. Actually, it's very, very tiny. I'm going to push the scroll wheel in, and you can see there it is. That conversion from Sketchpad, something weird happens, and in Blender it comes in extremely small. Now on the properties menu that opened up on the right, I am going to use I'm going to rotate it negative 90 degrees in the rotate section. Negative 90 degrees, there it is. And then I'm going to click the scale tool on the left, and I'm going to make it bigger. And I'm going to scroll in and out to get a better view of it. And if I hold the scroll wheel on my mouse in, I click in, and then move the mouse, that lets me drag it around different views. And so on the left, you can see I still have the scale tool selected in Blender. I can also select the move tool. And in the scale tool, you can see I'm actually dragging the boxes that show up to make things bigger. There's no corners that open up on the edge like in a lot of our apps. It's a little X, Y, and Z boxes that open up to the left of your object. Now I'm going to stretch it. Those grid squares in Blender, I think they are about 1 centimeter each. So there's more than like 2.5 of those roughly to 1 inch. And I'm getting close to the size I want it. So now I'm going to use the move icon. Again, those tools on the left will show you how you move things. And again, I'm grabbing a colored arrow this time. And I can move it either up and I can move it backward, forward, left or right, or I can move it up or down off the surface. Now, I have a flat 2-dimensional object here. I need to extrude in order to get what I want. So on the right, I'm going to select the menu that has the geometry. Mine is a little curved symbol. Go to where it says geometry and then select extrude. And if you select extrude, you'll have a little arrow where you can increase the numbers of millimeters that it will raise off the surface. And as I click more and more, you can see that my name is starting to get thick. And you can just use the scroll wheel by clicking it, holding it, and moving the mouse, that you can just get different views. And you can see, oh, I've extruded some, but it's still not very tall. Probably want to go and extrude some more. Click, 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 just make it thicker. There you can see I am getting some actual size to that. Now, in order to make it a nameplate, I have to combine it with a rectangle. So I want it thick enough so it will stick above the surface of the rectangle. There. Now I went to the Add menu, and in the Add menu, what I have added is a mesh and a mesh cube. And now I'm going to use the Scale button to resize that mesh cube. And you can see that I can make it thinner by using those little boxes. Now you'll notice that the name is on the surface, but when I resized that height, it made it not only thinner, but raised it up off the surface. So I need to bring it back down. Then I can move it. You can see that, oh, it's still a little small, no problem. The Scale tool lets me resize. The Move tool lets me adjust it. Back and forth between the Move tool and the Scale tool until you get things lined up the way you want them. Once you've got it lined up how you like it, you will have this ready. I'm going to highlight everything. And I'm going to join it together. Now all I need to do is export it. Before I export this, I want to do what is always a good idea, and that is to save your work. And that is going to be in the File menu in the upper left on the very top where the menus are, and go to File. And then I'm just going to choose Save. That's going to open up a window, and you're going to save it, of course, to your personal folder. Check the location at the top of this window. Make sure that it is going to your personal folder. I'm doing this at home, so I'm saving this one to my downloads. There we go. Now, this file from Blender will not work. You need to export an STL file. An STL file is what goes to the 3D printer. So once you get the STL, again, download it to your personal folder. That is what is going to get turned in to the Google Classroom.